What is going on, everybody? Bobby Fi here. Sheets is on his way to Paris, so we want to wish him well and hope he has a great trip. He's going to go to Roland Garros, amongst many other things I'm sure he'll do in Paris. Yeah, excited for him. Anyway, I'm going to be going through today's MLB slate. I will touch on the NBA at the end, and we will talk through some of it. It's much more interesting to talk about the NBA one than it is about the baseball slate. Okay, so basically what I'm doing today, and I want to just mention before I get into all this stuff, I really believe we have the most interesting offering in the DFS world. Between having all of the SaberSim content, all of PayDirt, which is the only place you can find both of them, and both are unbelievable, and especially PayDirt for sports betting as well as just regular DFS. It's an awesome tool better for hand builders, I would say, and then SaberSim is obviously the best in the industry. We also have all of Sheets' projections. I know he won't be able to do all of them, but he'll do whatever he can from Paris. Goldie's projections, who does an incredible job. And it's just a way of differentiating yourself even from other SaberSim users. And we're charging just a fraction more. I really think now is a great time to take advantage of it. We have the code finals2025 for 33% off your first month. And I think it's awesome. It's worth checking out. Also, you guys can go do the trials and see what you think of it. We are rebuilding the site. All the information is there on the current site. We're just rebuilding it to make it a little bit more easier and user-friendly. Probably going to help us more on the sales side of it. But really, all the information is there. Now's a great time to get in before the pricing goes up. And wanted to mention that before we get into today's slate. So with that said, right off the bat, Deep Hope is asking about basketball. We're not talking about basketball right now. So we will talk about it in a little bit. I don't like that I'm getting 0 of the Pepio. I might actually play him in my highest buy-in. And I'm a little confused at why I'm not getting a little bit more of the Valdez. Now, I'm using a combination of Sheets and Goldie's projections for the pitchers, that I'm just manually doing. I really don't understand why some of these guys are projected as high as they are. But I'm getting all the Mitch Keller at the moment. And I like the play a lot. You got to risk and rain, probably lower the ownership a little bit, maybe cap it at 65, 75. We're not playing a ton of lineups today. And then rebuild and then make sure we just have some of the Pepio. I think it makes some sense to get some exposure there, as he is statistically on SaberSim the best point per dollar play, and to not get any of them feels a little bit off. So we are going to put a little minimum exposure on him, and we are going to rebuild, see where we go. Now, the first thing I do when I'm playing these slates on these four or five gamers, I'm eliminating 5-man stacks, already differentiating myself that way. I'm running Goldie and Sheets' project combo over their projections for the pitching. And then usually I will put in the stacks that I want, but let's see what it gives us. And I think I might just let it cook today and remember to late swap even for baseball. Xing out 5 minutes. Yeah, I just Deep Hope right one step ahead of you. Actually, I just mentioned that I am. But I really would encourage everybody to check out what we're offering, because we're also going to start doing mostly behind the paywall content. Brandon's already doing it for NASCAR. You get all of my exact exposures in general. Now I'm going to do it on this show, but in general, I'm not going to show my exact exposures. Except for to our member base. And I really think it's a helpful way of if you're new to DFS, if you're experienced, I think we have everything for everyone, and we really would love for you guys to check it out. So at least give the trials a shot if you haven't already. Anyway, and as Deep Hope asked, yes, I am Xing out the 5-mans. Let me know what you guys are doing today. My favorite stacks, in my big buy-in, I probably am going to do some sort of combination of Cubs, Yankees. Kansas City is my other one that I'm considering here. You typed it first, huh? I thought that was the case. That was what I figured. There is a little bit of weather concerns in that Pittsburgh game. I'm willing to embrace a little bit of concern. It's only concerns not about the game playing, just the mid-game delay, because I'm going to end up with a lot of Keller. That's the only real major concern that I have. But we've got some good places to target here on this slate. So I'm into again, Cubs, Nationals, Yankees. Definitely look the best. I like the low owned Royals a little bit today. Is a little bit piquing my interest. I think it's a little bit better than people think. It's not an ideal lineup. They have a couple lefties in there. They don't exactly have lefty killers outside of Witt, but I think this is a spot where the Royals at low ownership could maybe do something. So we'll see what we end up on this run. If not, we'll probably make sure we get some of it, just to make sure we're putting our money where our mouth is. Our whole thing is transparency. We want to do everything. It's TrueDFS for a reason. We tell you exactly what we're doing. Sheets does it every day. I do it every day. And again, probably why we're going to have to move more behind the paywall, which we've already moved Brandon's stuff back there. So you're really getting a lot of value. And by the way, we do have NASCAR packages as well if you guys want to take a look at that. If you just want Brandon stuff, because as we all know, Brandon is awesome and one of the best around. So we're not getting any KC. So we're just going to put a little bit different, make sure we get a little bit of the KC, especially because these stacks, and we'll just see the stack types we're getting 4, 3, 4. This is about what you expect. I don't mind any of them on this particular slate. The maybe I X out the 0 stacks. Well, yeah, I'm not going to need to because it's not going to get that anyway. But I really think, and then are there individual players that stand out? And this is, again, not what I would do on giant slates, but it's very different game on big slates than it is versus small slates. So let's take a look at the home run probabilities using SaberSim. I don't think it's going to be a matter of innings to answer that question about Reagan's. I think that he'll probably throw between 80 and 90 pitches. I think 90 would be the top. I think 80 to 85. SaberSim's got it at 79, but I would bet on 80 to 85. They'd want to get him his work in pretty much no matter what. So what did I end up with on Reagan's? Where did I put it? Where is my Reagan's? I know I did something with it earlier. Where did he show up? What am I missing? Oh, there it is. Only 5%. That seems a little low, especially considering I bumped his projection up. What is Sheets? Wow, Sheets had Sheets had him at 15. Okay, we'll go with Sheets' projection and see if it changes things a little bit. Make sure we're getting at least some of them. We'll do that, and we're going to rebuild again. But I'm going to take a look at the batters and just show some things that I do for these smaller slates. And I've had success in these smaller slates. It's not been a great MLB season for me. I've done really well at the other sports, but like this is what I'm going to do. Do you ever force game stacks and also some good hitters you left out for that left out? I'm kind of confused by that question, Deepo. I guess because there's no real wind in the Yankees that are affecting anything. First of all, it's a crosswind. It doesn't mean anything. It's hot in New York. I don't really understand. So do you ever force game stacks? Yeah, I just did it. I literally just showed you it. So I don't know if you could have typed it before because I just showed you myself doing it with KC, but maybe you did. Maybe you're just on my wavelength today, Deepo. What's up, Eagles? Good to see you, my friend, always. And let's see what we got. Again, I wanted to make sure to change a few things. We're not playing a ton of lineups today, and I'm going to hand build my biggest buy-in. So actually, probably my second biggest buy-in too. And that's probably going to contain some form of Cubs. Oh, I didn't do the batters. Like I was home run likelihood. We've got Judge. Obviously, we're going to have some Judge anyway, but don't need to. Trent Grisham with the second highest home run odds today. Wow. Okay. Hold on. We've got all Yankees showing up for the home runs. It's going to be hard to avoid the Yankees, even as they are going to be chalk. But there are other spots too. So I'm skipping the rest. I'm going to Kyle Tucker because he's got the stolen base and the home run upside. Corey Seager's going to be left out on this slate. We're going to go a little bit of that. And we're just going to, again, I don't mind a mishmash of 3-2-1s. I don't think you have to correlate that much on DraftKings on these types of slates. That's just my take. And it's worked out well for me, so I'm sticking with it. Bellinger, more home run than stolen base. And we're going to take a look at the stolen base upside and see if we find a nice sweet spot. So you've got Abrams with a good spot on both. You've got, this is a good hitting slate for a small slate. PCA, we always want exposure to. Bobby Witt, we always want exposure to, especially on small slates where these guys literally can win you the slates almost by themselves. Jeremy Pena is one other one we want. I don't necessarily need to force in the Jeremy Pena. That's pretty much enough. All right, so I've made enough of my tweaks. My minimum destination ROI is going to be suffering, but that's okay. We're trying to win big tournaments. And again, I think I want to remind people, late swapping, even on these like little turbo slates, is still worth it. There is value in it. You're going to get the ownerships from the early games. Sometimes you get the production from the early games, and you're going to end up with very different builds than what you start with. Look what Sheets did last night, though. It's a great example of how effective it can be. I am in severe pain right now. This is like starting to really get to me. Oh, sorry. I'm going to have to call the doctor and get this taken care of. I just don't want to have shoulder surgery going into the summer. This is the summer. I'm taking a couple months off of being here every day. I'll be popping in and out more. We've got plenty of guys to hold down the fort, so don't worry about that. But sorry, guys. It's brutal. There's something. My shoulder's like fading away, and I need to get it straightened out. Hopefully we can work through that. Sorry to Theragun during the show, but that's sometimes you got to do it. All right, so we're going to see what we end up with. Then we're going to jump over to NBA, rebuild our lineups over there. We still are waiting on Tony Bradley officially, what's happening with him. I still think it's more likely they don't play Bradley in this series as much, and they lean more on the what's his name? Oh my God, why am I not thinking? I'll get over to it, but I you know what I'm talking about. Knicks made offer for Durant at trade deadline. There's a rumor coming through. These Knicks fans, just go F yourselves. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any reason to hate you except what you do to yourselves. This constant whining and complaining. This is the furthest your team has been in 26 years. And now it's like, oh, it's Tibbs' fault. Oh, we couldn't do this. Oh, it's because we did this. It's because we did this. It doesn't. This is the ceiling of where the Knicks were going this year. Okay, this is the ceiling. They were not better than any of these teams. They miraculously won that especially that game one against Boston, but and then again they did kind of the same thing in game two. This Knicks team is right like the highest level of where they should have finished. That's where they ended up, for what it's worth. So don't get out of here with your high and mighty. They always feel like they should be good. This is not an all-time franchise in basketball. I hate to tell people that, but like your Knicks are very irrelevant in the history of basketball. And it's this kind of attitude from fans where you feel like you have to win the title every year. You guys haven't earned your place there yet. If you're the Lakers, if you're the Celtics, you have a right to. If you're as good as OKC is and you don't win it, you have a right to. But you don't have a right to keep questioning everything and, oh, Towns needs to go and we need to fire Tibbs and all that. Just get out of here. Just enjoy the nice run you went on and shut up. That's my venting frustration towards Yankee fans for the day. Anyway. All right, so now this looks a little bit more in line with something I would consider. I don't love Jack Leiter in general, but I'm willing to play a little bit of it. I do like Valdez. I think for my highest buy-in, it's probably going to be some combination of Valdez, Reagans, Keller, Pepio. Or I should throw Fried in there. That is pretty wild that we're getting such low ownership on Fried. Now, it's partly because I made the tweaks to the other guys. I still feel like Fried is the best pitcher on this slate. Let me just do something really quick, and he should have a pretty decent, at least a small sample size versus. Let's take a look at Max Fried's BVP and just see if there's anything we can take from it if it's a large enough sample size. It's not. It's 2 batters, so it's nothing. So we are not going to be able to get a lot from that. So I'm okay with gambling and in the lottery. So which means committing to Keller, going low on Fried. Fried is probably going to be 60-70% owned. Makes me a little nervous, to be honest. But again, not playing enough lineups where I should be all that nervous. And look, I'm getting all the Cleveland because of it. Okay, I don't love this. I like the idea of getting different in general. We're going to do a couple things here. We're going to cap Cleveland's ownership, and it's going to be less than this, but we'll cap it at 50, and we're going to make a minimum of 20 for Fried, which is going to change things quite a bit. Actually, we'll make it 22. I don't mind if I'm a little below I just think Fried it's probably a little too good to just completely pass him up. But again, not playing a ton of lineups, so they're trying to get me super contrarian. I get it. I just personally would rather do things a little bit differently and add my own little tweaks. You don't have to. It gets actually dangerous if you make too many tweaks. I would trust the process. I would trust Sheets' projections with SaberSim or Goldie's, but make sure your players are in. When the projections were last updated, we have it all updated on our site, so it'll tell you. But that's the way I would treat it. But I like getting. I want to get to a little more KC. I think this is this. Now look, it has not worked for me against this Liberatore. I don't think as highly of him as his production has been, but I haven't been able to capitalize quite yet with him. He's giving up a lot of hard contact, getting a little bit lucky. One thing he doesn't do is walk a ton of guys, but if I'm not going for full 5-mans, I don't really care about the walk rate as much. I do think that KC might be something. Maybe I can incorporate that even in my higher buy-ins. We'll see what happens. We'll see what we get. Feel free to pop in any questions, thoughts, all that stuff. And I know it's a small slate, but we'll get out of here. Some good starts in golf. I did not have the Del Solar. I do have a good amount of Olesen. I do not have Cam Champ because he was not in the player pool, and or in the player pool on the Sims. That's irritating to me because I did look to try to play him. Tons of Knapp, lots of Hogard, lots of Pendrith, lots of Nick Taylor, a lot of the Canadians. And then let's see, Adam Hadwin was on 18 at 3 under. If he ends up 4 under, that would be ideal. A good spot to start, at zero ownership. Let's just see where he ended up. Hadwin is 3 under, so he's at the par 5. We'll see what he ends up doing. I am maybe a few minutes behind on that, but we'll see what happens. A long week for golf, obviously. What is happening here? Did I just rerun the Sims and not rerun the projections? Hold on, let's see what we got here. Yankees. Okay, this feels better. And now we still have a lot of Cleveland. I don't mind getting on some of it. Now we're going to have some of the Fried. Okay. This feels a little bit better to me. So I'm willing to go to battle with this as being my stuff for tonight. Now, I am also going to, I have to change my 2 big buy-ins, and I mentioned the teams that I would be doing that with. I'm going to save these to the contests, and we are going to be off and running. All right. Give me 1 second here. It's going to take a minute. All right. All right, we'll jump over to basketball. I have to rebuild because I added a bunch. I max entered the big one. So let me see. We did not get that. Okay, anything? Information about your cruise. Okay, nothing I need to address right now. All right. We'll talk about some basketball, and then I'm going to get out of here and go build up my other lineups. Look, I might change a few things, but I don't think it's going to affect the Bradley news is not going to affect me on FanDuel as much as it does DraftKings because you've got such cheap options. I mentioned my takes earlier that Matherin or McConnell, I think you're going to see, them having an opportunity for a big series. I think they're going to get the ball out of Halliburton's hands a lot, and I think that he's you're going to need some help. So for what it's worth, this is what I'm currently getting on FanDuel. I actually think I'd like to lower this number on Halliburton. It feels too high to me, which they have to do from utility over here. And I want to raise the number on Chet. Rerun this. I want to be above on Chet. I actually think this is too low for Chet anyway. And I want to be, come on. Oh no! See this? It's delaying because of the running the other thing. So I'm gone up. I want to go below. I want to go lower on Shea, just because you want to try and find little tweaks that you can add to make things a little different. So I did focus on my favorite ones. I add a significant amount of. I'm going to go higher on Matherin even, and we're going to end up with a lot of Matherin. You'll see when we rerun things. I also think that you have a very reasonable play in Toppin, but I'm fine with the projection on him. What else was the one? I want to make sure McConnell. Yeah, we're well ahead on the McConnell projection. So we're going to rebuild this and see what we end up with, and then we'll jump over to DraftKings. I'm glad FanDuel finally came around to the logical sanity and now has the MVP category that's 1.5 times. Oh, that's funny, Depot. Yeah, I thought that you must have because I was like, oh my God, he's asking me questions of exactly what I just did, but I know there's the little delay, so I think that's what's been happening. But it means that we're thinking the same, at least on it for what it's worth. Oh, Jesus, this is so painful. I have to go soak in a tub or something after this, or soak in a jacuzzi because I'm like, oh, today it really hurts. All right, we're going to wait for this to run. Feel free to drop any questions. All right, so let's see what we're getting here. We ran the sims, we did the things. So let's go to the MVP and see what our exposures look like. I wouldn't cross out anybody from who's playing at all, except, I mean, again, I don't think you need the Bradley play on FanDuel. On DraftKings, I'm not going to cross it off. All right, so we've got Halliburton. I don't like this. Why? Oh, I was supposed to change his projection. What? Didn't I just change his projection? Oh, I changed Shea's. I did not change Halliburton's, and we want to go a couple points below on Halliburton. So we want less of the Halliburton stuff, so we're going to have to rebuild again. All right. All right, sorry about this. It's freezing. My whole thing's frozen. I don't know what to do. I can't. It's going to be hard to do these shows without cheats because my whole thing freezes with the restream and Saber Sim up. I don't know why. I've got the most powerful Mac, and it's still doing that. All right. We're running it. Yeah, look at this. All right, so it's going to be only for our site members that we talk basketball because I can't deal with this freezing and I'm not able to do my stuff. So good luck to everybody. See you guys soon.